Welcome to Ode To Games. My name's Logan Plant, joined today by Kevin Valine. What's up, Kev?
Nothing much. Excited to talk about a lot of news coming out of Gamescom.
And we're also joined by Zach Ross, who was a little bit grumpy before the show. What's got
Oh,
you down, Zach?
oh man, I didn't get a chance to see Gamescom. I'm bummed about it. only
Okay.
only saw some of the announcements, but I didn't get a chance to watch any of the trailers.
Well, I'm bummed about Halo Infinite because it looks like another bad story so far for 343 since taking over the franchise. So the news started to come out before Gamescom even rolled out, where 343 basically said, hey, Halo Infinite is coming without co-op for the campaign. So no local, no online co-op, and no Forge. So
Right away.
two of the core tenets of the Halo experience not going to be a part of the game at launch. Instead, they're going to be a part of future seasons of the game. So they won't be in season 1. They've said that things like Forge will come in season 2, which is due out in a few months after the game's launch in early 2022. Oh boy, and then later at the Game Awards, we did learn that Halo Infinite's coming out on December 8th of 2021 in that coveted Cyberpunk 2077 slot.
Ooh.
And the Smash Ultimate slot, so two very different stories there. There's also a special edition controller of the Elite Edition.
It
So
did
if you
look
want to
good.
shell out a
Looked
ton of
pretty
money
good.
for a controller, it does
$200.
look
It
nice.
was like 180
No.
bucks for those things.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a shame because if that was a regular Series X and S controller, I might get that as a second controller because it looked really cool. But it's the top of the line one, which I just can't do. They also announced a Series X special Halo 20th Anniversary Edition, which is coming out in November. So Halo Infinite is coming out this year, but the reason that I was going to play it is not coming out this year. Zach, you recently bought an Xbox. You were looking forward to trying out Infinite. What's this mean for you?
I mean, I've talked about the Halos recently on the show, and that I've played every one of them local co-op, and we were planning on playing the Infinite story together. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a bummer that this is coming out, and I'm gonna have to play it alone. I won't be waiting for the co-op.
You're not waiting?
Can't wait. I'm in a Halo. This is the year of Halo.
I'm not playing it.
Are you going to
Not
be in
playing
a Halo mood in 3 months? Or
Probably
are you
not.
still going to be moving
Who
on to something
knows?
else? Yeah.
That's a great
It's
question.
a little
We'll see
ways
how I'm
away
feeling.
still.
Yeah, just the fact that it's coming to Game Pass, there's a chance that I'll play it, but maybe I'll be able to hold off until that Season 2 co-op expansion. I don't know, it just feels weird, but it feels even more weird that this thing was supposed to come out last November. Like,
Yeah.
how far into development were they? If they're not even having this thing full to go at in December, they have to wait another few months for Forge and co-op to be ready. Just
I'm
seems
learning on
like-
this podcast right now that Zach's still considering playing it at launch. So
Yeah, no,
I
I-
did not know that.
I knew in my mind that if I said it, you were gonna be like, "Wait a second." But
Dang.
it didn't come up organically before the show when I was thinking about it, so I had to drop this bombshell in your face. But hey, we're still playing Reach and 5 together. That means something, doesn't it?
Halo 5.
I mean, maybe not.
What does
Halo
that
5,
mean?
but-
That means sadness. Yeah, Kevin, how do you feel about this huge lack of feature at launch for Halo?
Yeah, is this the first time, like, seasons, we've gotten used to seasons in multiplayer games. Like, Fortnite
Oh,
has
yeah, absolutely.
has killed it with the seasons of always adding new content in, but is this the first time that we've seen single player features and core features in past installments coming out billed as a season? It's got to
Yeah.
be like the first time that's happened, and it rubs me the wrong way. And
It was
as
already a bumpy transition for Halo to go from what it's always been, which is a new core experience every 2 to 3 years with new multiplayer, new Forge, new maps, to a live service game, which is what Infinite's going to be. That was already, I think, a tough transition, and now it's being bungled at launch.
yeah, and as Zach said, the fact that this game was supposed to come out a year ago, and that we come a year after that, and they're still like, yeah, we can't get Forge and we can't get co-op at launch. Co-op specifically really confuses me because that was such a big deal with Halo 5 that it it wasn't there, couch co-op, and then it was only online. That you would have thought that they learned after Halo 5. It's like, oh, maybe we should have that at launch for that story campaign if they were able to knowing that they're actually able to get the story campaign out on time, that would have been a big deal. But I guess not, that they're both coming out with a season 2. Also,
and they said they learned their lesson. They're like, we understand fans missed this feature. It will be back for
eventually.
Halo Infinite. Oh, just kidding. You can't even play it online.
And
it's terrible.
What was also confusing is that they had the Xbox showcase recently that didn't have anything on Halo, and then they come out with Halo news, supposedly at Gamescom, which I guess the biggest thing to take away from it is the release date. We finally got that of December. But they have this multiplayer trailer that really wasn't a gameplay trailer at all. It was just another CG trailer, and then at the end they're like, yeah, we've got this big story stuff ready for you, and then they didn't show that. It's like, you give the release date, and it's only a couple of months away, and you still don't really show much?
Can I just talk about how concerned I am about this game's campaign? Because people have been playing the multiplayer, and they say it's a ton of fun. Like, the beta is out. People were playtesting it, I think, 2 weekends ago now, and people really liked it. We have not seen the campaign since the showcase in June of 2020, which led to the delay. We haven't seen it since then. We saw a cinematic trailer at E3, but we have not seen gameplay of the campaign since then. And even what we saw was like a 10-minute slice, so, man, this thing could be rough. And I've said on this show so many times that this kind of feels like it for me. This kind of feels like 343's last chance to get Halo right. Halo 5 really killed my joy for the series, and I was ready for them to pull me back in with this, and they are just doing everything wrong. It's like, I know they want to get it out this year, have that big fall release, have the multiplayer ready, which will probably be great, but man, would it have killed them to do what everyone else is doing and release this in February with the campaign co-op and Forge intact? There's so many games coming out in the first 2 months of next year. Halo could have just been a part of that huge, like, early 2022 rush, but instead it's being rushed itself, just being pushed out the door in December. And I'm really disappointed with what it's looking like so far.
I'm sure that was probably a pretty big debate internally of whether to push it to 2022 or launch without these features. I don't know which one I would have preferred, but yeah, now that it's coming out without these features, I'm still going to be tempted to play it by myself, but maybe it would have just been better if it did launch in February with everything else.
Yeah, and also just like, kind of want to steer the conversation to just games as a service in general. It can be really good when it's done right. When a game launches fully and then gets a bunch more down the line. I'm okay with that. We're used to that at this point. That's how basically every big game operates now. But releasing in what I think you can call, in this case, an incomplete game. It is missing co-op. It is missing an entire mode that's been in every Halo game forever. That is when it really rubs me the wrong way, when they're like, oh, but it's coming later as a free update. It's like, that is too big of a thing for me to be without at launch. When it's like, oh, we are adding more maps and modes later that are just like kind of on top of a complete product, that I don't have a problem with. But like releasing in what I think is like 3/4 of a product and saying, yeah, we'll throw in the other stuff later, to me, that's borderline unacceptable.
But it seems to be getting more and more common. Basically what feels like early access titles. And now we're getting early access titles on console. Recently we had that game coming out that's like early access on PlayStation, which is a little disconcerting there. But I mean, you have things like, you know, Fallout 76 or Anthem or something like that, where they come out content bare, a lot of the times with major gameplay problems with bugs and things just not working, and it feels like it's an early access title where they're asking you, hey, you want to drop $60 so you can beta test this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's what Halo Infinite's going to be. Maybe the content that is there is going to be really solid, and you just have to wait for the co-op, but it seems to be getting more and more common of games that come out either broken, limited content, or both, and that they ask you to drop $60 under the guise that it's going to get better. And as we know, look at Anthem, there is no guarantee that the game gets better. You would assume with Halo it would, but Anthem's from EA, huge company, BioWare, and that game still died basically after launch. It didn't really get anything new. So you never know with these things. If they come out content bare, they like to say, hey, here's the roadmap of all this content. Who knows if it's actually going to come out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there are a lot of examples of this done right, though. Like, think about like Monster Hunter World, how much game there was at launch, and then how much free stuff they added, and how much paid they added. That's like the golden standard. Like that was an incredible path that then they even, I think, messed up a little bit with Rise. I don't think there was enough to do in Rise at launch compared to what that series had established. And it's just like, I know the pandemic has impacted these developers so much, but it's leading to stuff like this. Yeah, we'll push it out. And CD Projekt Red released an unplayable game. And here we are a year later, and they're still releasing major patches to fix these things. And it's just, man, I already kind of stopped pre-ordering games a long time ago, unless I absolutely know I'm going to play this. But it's becoming even less and less of an ideal to pre-order a game when it's like, this thing could be broken or incomplete at launch. It's like, why not wait a year, pick it up cheap? Halo has the benefit of it's on Game Pass, right? That's kind of its saving grace, is like, I can play this basically early access thing for my subscription fee and get all the other stuff later. So that's fine, I guess. If it was Sega, they'd be like, $5 for the split screen co-op coming in 2022. But yeah, I've just been kind of upset lately at how much stuff gets added after launch. It's like, just delay it. I'm not playing this thing not in co-op. Maybe I'm not playing it with Zach though, if he's going on.
I'm sorry, but if I'm in the Halo mood, I can't stop myself. I have a problem.
You're a very impulsive, impatient player.
It's one way to put it.
But very patient when it comes to sales.
If it's not on sale, I'm not buying it.
But if it's on sale, you're also not buying it.
I'm gonna buy it. God, I'm all over the place.
Are you playing Deathloop this year?
I don't have a PS5.
I do.
One of us does.
Play Deathloop together. You and me.
Play Deathloop. We'll see.
That game.
Yeah, so that's the Halo story from Gamescom. A lot of other stuff came out of Opening Night Live, though. That now. Horizon Forbidden West officially delayed to it's coming out February 18th. That's really close to the 5-year anniversary of the first game.
So like a day or two off. Yeah.
How is that 5 years ago?
5 years since Horizon, the Switch, all of it next year.
It does not feel like half a decade. Man.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, 5 years ago. Horizon Forbidden West is coming out February 18th. Then 1 week later, Saints Row, the reboot, is coming out on February 25th. So a couple of big games in February. That's along with other big stuff that's coming out in February and January, including things like Elden Ring in January. Pokemon Legends is coming out in January. We have release dates for a few other things like Rainbow Six Extraction, which none of us are going to play. That new Marvel XCOM game, which looked pretty cool. Ghostwire Tokyo. Lego Star Wars got shown off, and it's coming out in spring of 2022, like a year and a half after it originally supposed to come out. But Kev, I want to get your take on Saints Row. What'd you see? What'd you like?
It's back. It's been a long time. When Saints Row 4 came out in 2013, I think, and Gat Out of Hell was, I think, a year after that. It has been a long time, and watching the trailer for the first time as someone who's played all the Saints Row games, it was a little weird. No, I knew it was a reboot, but not seeing any of the characters that I know was a little hard to watch at the start. And also I felt like it was a cinematic trailer with a little bit of gameplay at the very end. And I felt like for longtime fans who have been waiting since 2013, and for some people who didn't really like where the direction was going since, 2008, 2009 with some of those earlier games, that they would have shown off some of the features that they talked about later outside of the trailer, but didn't show. Like, looking at the trailer, you had no idea if the character customization was coming back, and they come on Twitter and they're like, hey, the character customization is indeed back. So that was great to see, but for someone who just watched the trailer, maybe they don't think that the customization is back, because from what it looked like, the main character who comes on screen with her voice actor is like, like, my character is the boss, and it makes it look like there's no customization. But we heard that is coming back. They didn't really talk about the maps much, but it sounds like it's going to be a huge map with a bunch of districts. The gangs taking over the territories from the original games is coming back, and I'm most excited about kind of like building this thing from the start. You got some of that in the original Saints Row, but here it's more like you're buying buildings and like creating this empire. You're taking territories.
That's a Kevin game.
It is. And I'm excited to kind of like build that up and build these new versions of the Saints. And looking at it now, And knowing that it is a reboot, I think it makes a lot of sense that none of the characters from the original are coming back. They went off in a wild direction with Saints Row 4, and there was nowhere else to go without like retconning it or like doing some weird thing to bring these characters back. So I totally understand the decision to get a whole cast of new characters. But I'm more so looking forward to when they do show off more of the gameplay and showing off character customization and all of this stuff that we've come to expect from Saints Row. But I'm excited for it. It's been a long time, nearly a decade, and I'm excited to play this when it comes out in February. Cross-gen, be coming to both consoles, so we'll be getting cross-gen games 2022.
Is Elden Ring cross-gen?
Is it?
I think so.
I can't. Is it really?
I don't know. I might be
surprising.
wrong. I'm not sure. I'll look that up.
Might be. Who knows?
But
Horizon
Kevin, you were complaining a little bit before the show about reboots that take the same title as the original game.
Yeah, as much as I am looking forward to this, I absolutely hate that it's just called Saints Row. It's the same thing with God of War. It's the same thing with Doom. It's just going to be Tomb Raider. It's just going to be Saints Row 2022. It was God of War, PS4, Doom 2016. Was it? What was Tomb? What people just call it Tomb Raider, or did it have a
Tomb Raider 2013?
Tomb Raider 2013. I hate it. I get why they do it. It's like, oh, it's Saints. It's not tied to the last ones. Don't give it a number. God, I just wish they would give it some sort of subtitle or something. I don't know. Like, I hate it because now you have two games that are Saints Row, but are completely different different games. The original Saints Row and this one. I've never liked naming your reboot game the exact same thing as the game that came out 15, 20, 30 years before. Rubs me the wrong way every time, and I still don't like it here. I feel like they could have gave it a subtitle.
They still could.
They could. I feel like they would have done it now, though.
Probably.
If they were going
you never
to,
know.
But
maybe they'll hear this and in the air of their ways.
But I am very excited. And from some of the people who've got to see more of the gameplay, it sounds like it is more of a look and feel of the later Saints Row games, but more of the gameplay of the original, which is what I wanted. I like the look of the later Saints Row. The earlier Saints Row games don't look very good, but I think that the gameplay of those games was much stronger, and I hope that is indeed true, that they're taking some from Saints Row 3 and those types of games, and Saints Row 1 and 2 they take from those as well to make this new Saints Row game.
Modern Warfare. That's another one I just thought of.
Oh, yes.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Sorry, I said to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah, there was Modern Warfare.
What else is there? Have we got any others? Wasn't Prey?
Shadow of the Colossus.
That's a remake, though.
That is a remake.
Different.
That's a remake. Oh, Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank, yeah.
Man, there's Star Wars Battlefront. There's so many. They're coming now. They're coming.
Yeah, open the floodgates.
Yeah, that might actually be it now. DMC Devil May Cry, does that count? Because it's basically just Devil May Cry.
I guess. They tried to make it a little different. At least a little bit.
The really bad SimCity that came out?
Oh, yeah, hated that game. Yeah, they did the same thing. Stupid. I hate that game.
There were multiple Need for Speed Most Wanteds. Okay,
they did a Need for Speed. They did just a straight Need for Speed.
Oh, they did? Of a reboot?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Elden Ring, I am reading right now, is, in fact, cross-gen.
So, last thing I'll say on Saints Row, if people are worried about the CG trailer, wait for more gameplay, and I'm a little bit confused why they didn't want to show any more off, because from what people are saying, from a lot of the gaming outlets who did get to see extended gameplay, it's looking really good, and I just wish they showed more of that off, because just with the CG trailer and the little bit of gameplay, for longtime fans, I think it can be a little hard to take. So wait for that extended gameplay, because from what it sounds like, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, it looked nice from what we did see. But I will say real quick, the probably most infamous one that I forgot to mention until right now, Sonic the Hedgehog 06.
That didn't turn out very well.
We call it 06
Sonic
commonly
06.
now.
Yeah.
This game's just called Sonic the Hedgehog. How ridiculous.
But that's how it works. You just have to create another name for it, because they're not going to do it. You got to do some way to differentiate it, and it's always on us to be like, give it a name or give it what console it was on. Like,
you know what publisher does differentiate it, Nintendo. They just slap a new on it. New Super Mario's, Yoshi's New Island.
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, those are the reboots. That's fun. It's interesting.
In some way, I'd rather have new Pokemon Snap than Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
At least it's
Snap
something.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's something. But yeah,
But,
still very
glad-
excited
glad
about
you're
it in February.
excited.
Yeah.
Glad you're excited for Saints Row, and I mean, this game could do really well because it's going to be a hot minute till the next GTA. So if this picks up steam, this could probably do pretty well.
I mean, that's what they did originally with the earlier Saints Row. Everyone was waiting around for, I think, GTA 4, and they were able to swoop in and kind of make a name for themselves before it came out. They could do it again here.
A couple other things from Gamescom to talk about. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga coming out spring 2022. They showed off a huge trailer. It's featuring all the movies, and it looks really good. Like, it's been such a long time that there's been a Lego game I've cared about, and it's like this visually is such a big jump from any of the Lego games I played when I was a kid, and I'm excited to. Does it have multiplayer though? I didn't show any of that in the trailer.
Well, Lego games usually have multiplayer, right?
They always do. That's like their big thing. I'd be shocked if it didn't. Like, the only one that doesn't is like Lego City Undercover.
I think they added
think
that
does.
later.
Yeah, for the Switch version, I don't think it's.
But I mean, if
Lego,
if the original Lego Star Wars did have it, I would assume they'd have it here.
Yeah.
But
every Lego game does. They just didn't show any of it. But I thought that looked super cool.
What's your thoughts on spring 2022 for that? Just.
I mean,
it's gonna get delayed again
this year. I wouldn't have time to play it, so I don't mind that it's coming out. But what's taking so long with that game?
Looks pretty good
it's
graphically.
been delayed so
It
many
actually looked pretty damn good to me. Like, it kind of, because I remember seeing some of the original Lego Star Wars games. I'm like, this is a step up. Obviously, from those games that came out in 2003 or whatever.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah, it looked cool. We got new DLC for Monkey Ball Banana Mania, which is now just like 6 weeks away. Morgana from Persona 5.
$5.
Persona $5 extra. Yep.
I don't get these characters. Why is Kiryu free and Morgana's $5? Like, I'm glad Kiryu's free, but why aren't they all? Yeah. Why is Morgana different?
To my knowledge, this is the only like third-party character that costs money. They're screwing over the Persona fans and the OG Monkey Ball fans, like we talked about last week.
Well, third party, I mean, it's still Sega.
Oh yeah, I mean
Sega
guest
Atlas.
character. Sorry, guest character.
Yeah. Besides the the original skins
and the consoles
and the cons. Yeah, why are they? What is the thought process of charging or not charging for these things?
Yeah, because like Sonic would have sold a bundle if Sonic was paid DLC. I think Sonic would have sold more than the Sega Dreamcast. Like, who's pay $5 to race as the Sega Dreamcast?
Like 10 people who love the Dreamcast.
Yep. Yeah, that's really weird.
Any thoughts on the minigames that they showed off?
Yeah, it's the 12 minigames from Monkey Ball 2. So Monkey Ball 1 has 3 pretty forgettable minigames. It has Monkey Fight, Monkey Race, and I don't even remember the third. But Monkey Ball 2 has 12 minigames, and then Deluxe, which is also being remade in this package,
which makes no sense.
The same minigames as 2. So they're just bringing back the games from 2 and Deluxe, and they're really good. Monkey Target is classic. It's like you do the ski jump with the monkey ball, and then you have to glide over and land on at the best spot. That game is great. Monkey Baseball is great. Monkey Soccer, like these are classics. Monkey Shoot Fire. I don't remember. It's like a first-person shooter, and it's a mini game. It's a first-person shooter, and there's 3 levels, and it's really good. It's like better than any Star Fox game within this Monkey Ball game. So yeah, no, I'm excited those are coming back. We already knew that, but have them get spotlighted for other people to see was pretty cool. Every time I see this game, I like it less visually, which is disappointing. I think the originals look better.
I wonder if they're gonna in a couple of months after the game launches, do a thing like Halo had with the remakes, where you can swap between it, but they'll charge like $10 or $20.
Yeah. And I would pay for it. It's like I should just plug in the originals. But yeah, it's just when I see it on a big screen, I'm like, that just looks wrong to me. And I know I'm in the minority. I've played the original so much. but to other people, it'll probably looks better. But to me, I'm like, man, I like the art style of the original. It's just a heck of a lot more. The characters will fix that problem some when I shell out $5 for the classic character skins, but it won't fix everything.
It'll fix something.
I don't even know if I'm excited for this game. All I can say is I'm very intrigued. But it's a coming.
It's gonna be here before you know it.
Yeah, the fall rush is here. It's August, and the fall rush is absolutely.
I mean, we're
here.
almost done with August. Come next week's show, be September.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. And then the last one I want to talk about. Actually, Kevin, you want to talk about Park Beyond? Tell us about that one.
Like, I've always been a big fan of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and that series fell on very hard times. But you've had some other spiritual successors like Planet Coaster and I think Parkitect that kind of picked up the reins of the ashes of Roller Coaster Tycoon. But this one is taking it in a little bit of a different direction where they're just doing really zany rides. Like, they showed off this, like, roller coaster that kind of, like, shot you off into the air and you pick back up on another section of the track. There was this, like, huge Ferris wheel that you were riding on. It kind of reminds me of, Thrillville? I think those, like, classic games from like, the PS2, Wii generation. Kind of reminds me a little bit like that. Didn't see a whole lot of it, but I am intrigued as a fan of those types of games to see more about it coming out in 2022.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a Kevin game.
I mean, management games, always a fan. And it's just interesting to see kind of a different direction. Like, because Planet Coaster and Parkitect, they really do take the reins from Roller Coaster Tycoon. They are very similar games. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of a different take, more of a wild and zany park.
Then we got my highlight of this Gamescom opening night live, Dokevi, the creature catching adventure. It's a studio making Pokemon look better than Pokemon looks, but it looks a lot different too. It's an open world action RPG, and then I saw the letters MMO and I was like, out. But then apparently it's not an MMO anymore. That was the original plan, and now it's like an open world game.
Okay.
So that would be good. But it looks gorgeous. It looks super pretty. You play as like these kids riding around on like scooters and skateboards in just an awesome open world town. You can glide. They have the wire bug mechanic in there from Monster Hunter Rise, which looked really cool.
Showed like jet skis and cars too.
Yeah, it looked so cool. This isn't a new reveal. It was shown off 2 years ago, and that's when they called it an MMO. But I hadn't heard of it at the time. This is the first I've ever seen it, and we don't even know the consoles it's coming to. It's planned for PC and console. There's also not even a release window. This was just like, hey, this game still exists.
Working on it.
But it looks awesome. And there's like these huge fights between the Pokemon, but you're like involved. You're like in the arena, like firing a water gun to like weaken the powers of the Pokemon that's fighting yours, or the Dokebi, as they're called in this game. But I thought it looked super cool. I thought that the graphics were amazing and the art style looked great. And if the gameplay, I just want to learn more about the gameplay because this game just looked gorgeous. I sent Zach some of the screenshots. I don't think you saw the trailer, but it just looked awesome. I love
those
the
screenshots. Looked
trailer.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. So man, just more studios. I know Temtem is another. It's a game trying to make better than Pokemon. Let's have more studios do it. Get Game Freak to step it up. You know.
Got to get competition.
Yeah.
Can compete with Game Freak. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, but that game looked super, super cool to me. And beyond Gamescom, not a lot of news in the last week, so why don't we get to what we've been playing?
All right, so we'll move on to what we've been playing this week. I know for me it's a lot less than last week, so don't expect 5 different games beaten this week.
Come on, Zach.
Can't do it every week. Some weeks there's a surge in me where I just like rattle them off. I guess it was technically 2 weeks. That could be my excuse.
That's true.
Yeah.
But, this week it was a little bit less, but we'll start with Kevin, who I'm sure has played a mountain of games.
It's the same stuff as always. Got back into Xenoblade for a little bit, doing some more quests, moving that game forward. Got like all these games that are going to be coming out. I'm like, I can't drop Xenoblade again. Like, that's dangerous. I've already dropped it once back on the Wii. I can't do it again. I've got to beat it this time. So picking that back up, and I'm going to try and balance it with Great Ace Attorney. So I finished the 3rd case, on to the 4th. And again, it's that thing where you're just, I mean, with the 3rd case, you're in court the entire time, and it was all right. it was I do appreciate the cutscenes though. Cutscenes in between are quite nice.
Yeah.
Watching some of the story unfold, and I can see some of the seeds starting to be planted for the second game, or at least I think I can, of just like kind of an overarching story that I assume has better payoffs in the second game. But from what I've been playing, kind of the same thoughts as previous weeks. Still enjoying it. Hasn't reached the heights yet of the previous games, but still going through and looking forward to finishing the first one off and getting to the second one.
I really like the third case.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I think in terms of court-only cases, it's one of the better ones. I think that it has, I don't know, it has a pretty cool twist. Like, it ends really in a really cool fashion. That's all we can really say. But I really like how
the
it ends.
ending story content there kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, so I
interesting.
really like that. How about you, Zach?
Great
You
Ace
like-
Attorney. What?
Yeah. You
Love that
ending
case.
twist?
That was a great. That was a great case. I'm sure I will love when I get there.
Yeah.
Is that it for you,
That-
Kevin?
That is it. I mean, I played a little bit of Stardew. Still haven't gotten to the new content
Sure.
yet. We reached summer of year 2 though. Rolling along.
Slowly getting there.
Yep.
Nice.
Like real life farming. You
Pretty much is.
slow
It's
progression.
a very
Yep.
slow grind.
All right, Logan, what have you been up to this last week?
I've been
or so?
playing a few things. I'm visiting family right now, so not a ton. I have not been able to finish the Great Ace Attorney 2 yet. I'm on the final case.
You're
Still
still
good?
going at a pretty good pace.
Still good?
Yeah, it's still outstanding. Still on pace to be the best one in the series.
Okay.
And one of my favorite games of all time. Outstanding. But yeah, nothing new to say because I finished the 4th case. It's really good. It's not as good as case 2 or 3, but it's still really, really good. Those two set an extraordinarily high bar. But I did really like it, and I'm on the 5th case and excited to see how it all wraps up. And then I played the WarioWare Get It Together demo, which dropped on the eShop on Switch last week, and it's more WarioWare, but I think that controlling the characters adds an element of freshness and replayability that other WarioWare games have. Because there's like 8 characters in the demo, and each one controls differently. So you have to play each micro game slightly differently. So in a game that's going to have 15 characters and 200 micro games, there's going to be so many combinations and ways to play this game, and I think that's just super cool. And you can either draft a team of 3, and then it just randomly picks what character you are going into each minigame, and it's a random order. Or you can just throw every character into the mix, and you could get one of any of the 8 in the demo for any game. So you have like 2 seconds to get ready to see what character you are and what game it is, and do it. You just have to do it. And it's very similar to the WarioWare Gold, where you don't know if it's going to be the touch, the button, or the tilt. And so you just have to be ready for anything, and it evokes that with all the different characters, and that gives it a really new spin on WarioWare, which makes this feel really, really unique compared to the other ones. It's also like Smooth Moves, where you didn't know what grip you were going to have to do before you started the game. I don't know if either of you guys played.
Did not.
I've not
Never
played a
a
Okay.
WarioWare.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, in Smooth Moves before the micro game, it shows you how to grip the Wii remote right before, and there's like 12 different grips, so you can like do like a paper airplane or like handlebars or like an umbrella. So there's a bunch of different ways to do that. It shows you right before the game, and this is very similar to that. Just seeing the character and the characters are really cute too. They're like clip art versions of the actual characters. But yeah, it's good. $50, which is interesting. I would have thought they would have sold it for $60, but hey, we'll take it. And yeah, I'm really excited.
Anytime they drop it below $60, you'll take.
I know, seriously. I didn't know the demo was out. I've been wanting to play this game, so I'm excited. I should try it out.
And the 2 player is really fun. I thought it might be too chaotic or too easy, but some of the games are clearly designed for 2 players. There's like one game where it's like, hey, grab exactly 6 coins. And if you don't communicate, you might grab 7 and you lose the game. Like it gets wild with 2 people. And WarioWare's always been a really fun party game. And just throwing another person into the mix who's actually playing instead of like passing the controller around. Yeah, it's really good. This is going to be a really good game.
Nice.
Awesome.
When does that come out
so,
again?
Yeah, Zach, we should play it. It comes out in
Should.
September. It comes
September,
out on
next
Soon.
month.
Very, very
Wow.
soon.
Yeah, September 12th, I think. That's what's jumping out in my
That
head.
is very soon.
Couple over 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it's 2 weeks from this Friday. The 10th, September 10th is when WarioWare Get It Together comes out. $50. I recommend it. WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven are two of like the most underrated Nintendo series. They're just Nintendo at its weirdest. They're so ridiculously weird. One of the games in this is like there's like a statue, like think like a marble Greek statue, and it has armpit hair, and you have to like shave the armpit hair. And that's the game. And then you're on doing something else, and it's just like, what am I doing right now? And it's a 5-second fever dream 50 times in a row, just with all the different crazy games that are in there. It's great.
Nice.
Play WarioWare.
Play that. Seriously, I've been wanting to for a long time. I just never have.
Yeah, and
Anywhere to
WarioWare
hop
Gold
in.
on the 3DS is like the best one in the series.
So far.
You play that too. Yeah,
Play the new one's the best one.
Possibly until now.
Maybe. Yeah, we should play some WarioWare, Zach. I can
Yeah,
take you on a tour of the
is
series.
it online co-op or local co-op?
It's local only.
It's local. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Right,
but no,
great.
it was really good.
Anything
And
else?
then I've been playing Mario Golf with my family a lot, and I'm getting a little more polarized about it.
Where did you Where did you stop the last time? Did you get through everything, or it's been a little while? I felt since you played it last.
Yeah, because the single player is really bad. It's really bad. It's worse than the Aces single player.
Really?
Which was bad. Yeah. So I still really like the golf gameplay. They added the new Donk City course, which is really cool because they're all like micro golf holes. They're like 100 yards each. Like you can finish every one in 2 shots, and it's just really crazy in speed golf to see who can finish it slightly faster. So that's super fun. And it literally is a copy paste of New Donk City from Ode. Like in speed golf, you can run around everywhere, and it's super cool. So I like that. I like the courses. I like the multiplayer. Normal golf is fun too. We've just been playing like 9 holes, 4 players with my family, and it's been a good time. So then one night I'm like, okay, I'm going to try out the single player again. And it just makes the most baffling decisions. The computers are ridiculously easy, which has been a problem for a long time in the Mario sports games. But they do this weird hybrid. So quick context, there's normal golf and speed golf. Normal golf, it warps you right to your ball. Speed golf, you're on a timer and you have to run to your ball, right? Single player campaign does a hybrid where you're not on a timer, but you have to run to your ball. And it's just a time filler. Because there's no point in running to your ball. There's coins on the course that you can get to like spend in the shop, but you get like 10 coins. And you get 100 coins like for every hole you complete. So it's like, why am I running to my ball right now? It's just wasting my time. It's not respecting my time that I'm playing this now. And one of the stats you can upgrade is stamina for your character to run faster. It's like so you're putting this barrier just to make the game go faster. It's dumb. And then what's worse is in speed golf, after you sink your putt, you have to watch the computers finish. But it's fun because you're competing against them. Here, I'll finish the hole in like 4 strokes, and then I'll have to watch the computers finish, who I'm golfing with. But they're not even on a timer. I'm just watching them golf. And it's like, why do I have to watch the computer golf? It makes absolutely no sense. Like, just show me the scorecard. I don't need to watch King Babam facing a 3-foot putt straight on, and then he angles off intentionally and shanks the putt, which happens almost every time. So yeah, the story mode's bad. It's really bad, and I don't think I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I think I'm probably
I
done
wouldn't
with
blame
it.
you. Got to the end of
Too
the
great.
Aces single player, and I don't recall ever finishing, just like stopping at the last level.
Yeah, but at least the multiplayer golf is fun. Speed golf's a blast when you're in the same room with people. They're adding online ranked content, or if you play enough, you unlock like alternate Yoshi colors, which is good. So there's still stuff there I care about, and really I just got it to play with people, which I've been doing. So
How many
I don't
people
regret
can you
the purchase.
play on the same consoles? Is it 2 or 4?
2 for speed golf, 4 for regular golf.
Only 2 for speed golf, really.
Yeah, because they don't chop up the screen in 4s.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So also, if you play with 4 people, you have to take turns. But if you play just normal golf with 2 people, you can just split the screen and just play your 9 holes at the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah. But the golf is fun. I like the courses. I hope they keep adding more. but the single player is atrocious. It is so bad.
I mean, they haven't gotten it right in a long time.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Yeah. Yikes. But that's all I've been playing.
Awesome.
All right, Zach, how many games did you beat this week?
I guess I technically did beat one because at the end of last week I hadn't beaten Ace Attorney Justice for All, the second Phoenix Wright game. But I finished the last case, so I guess I technically did beat a game over the last week. Logan had hyped this case up as being the best in the series. I don't know if I'd agree with that. The last couple cases in the first game were very good. I'd put this up there with them. I don't know if I'd put it as best in the series, but after a little bit more experience with some of the upcoming trials, I'm sure I'll have a better idea of where it sets. But it was a very good ending to this game. It really holds the game up because the first three cases were not super strong. I liked them. The first one I wasn't a huge fan of, but the second and third one I thought were pretty good. But this last one really sets this game. This would have been a much worse game if it were not for that great last case. Overall, I thought that was pretty good. And then I did play the first case of the third game, Trials and Tribulations, which was a much better opening case than Justice for All. It did much better in the reason why they're teaching you all these controls again, like opening the court record and submitting evidence. Sure, it was a funny gimmick in the second game, but the case was really lackluster. This time, this is where it starts getting a little wonky on the timeline because it's set before the first game, and you actually play as Phoenix's boss, Mia Fey. So it is actually pretty important setup for the story. I assume it did seem like very important setup, unlike the first case in the second game. So
No setup.
Literally no setup, just a tutorial case. So this one actually seemed to have a lot of purpose behind it. It was actually a pretty good case. So I'm excited to continue on. And I don't know who the weird guy with the green suit and the visor is, but I'm very interested. I assume he's a prosecutor, but he looks super cool and I really want to. I assume I'm going to love him. So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Great guy.
That does not surprise me. Is he a prosecutor?
Yes.
You can nod. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can let me know.
Yes.
That's what I assumed. So yeah, working my way through that. Love the trilogy so far. Thank you for recommending it, Logan. I will thank you every time I talk about it because you're the reason I'm playing it. And then other than that, I earlier today I did play a little bit more Forza Horizon 4. Almost to summer, I believe, the final season. Still enjoying all the races. I've mostly just been doing the road races. The off-road races, I don't know. I prefer the road races because I really like my on-road car. And my on-road car is very bad for off-road. It can't handle dirt roads at all, and I don't like switching up my car, so I'm just sticking to the on-road races. But still a gorgeous game, still having a lot of fun with the races. It's easy to just sit down and do a handful of races and just progress your promotional points to progress further in the season. So I don't know if that game technically has an end, but I'm working my way towards something. I don't know what it is, but we'll see.
I think there's technically an end.
Yeah, there's probably technically an end after summer.
I think you beat it after you beat the 4 seasons, but then that's
extra
5% of the actual
that.
content
Yeah,
in the
there's
game.
a bunch of other stuff.
The map is absolutely
the DLC
littered
stuff too. So
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like there's going to be a shortage of stuff to do in this game.
You don't get the DLC on Game Pass.
Really?
Like the Lego stuff. Yeah.
Really?
It advertises it a little bit too in the loading screens, and you're like, Lego, and then you just can't do it.
It's a little surprising considering that it's a Microsoft game.
Yeah.
Still a lot of content though, so not too disappointed that it's not included. But yeah, that's all I've really had a chance to play this week. We want to move on, Kevin.
All right, let's get to the Ode To. I was trying to remember what this was in response to. It's in response to Monkey Ball, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so we're talking about Monkey Ball and its DLC not making sense. Why some things are paid, some things aren't. Yeah, it's just weird and kind of stupid. So why don't we talk about DLC in general?
Yeah.
DLC that you played that you liked or you didn't like. A lot of the DLC that we've got here is not just like little cosmetic things. Most of the ones that we have on here are story content, more of like the media expansions in terms of DLC. Why don't we start it off? Logan, you've got the most on here. Why don't you run through your list of of DLC here. You got a lot.
Yeah, I have a weird relationship with DLC. Because it's like, it's never as good as the main game. Ever. I don't think. Unless I'm missing something. But usually it's like story-based DLC is never as good as the game.
Well, and I feel like it's also because you would hope that the main story wrapped itself up pretty well. Or if it did set something up, it set something up for a sequel rather than the DLC.
Yeah.
So whenever they do story DLC, they kind of have to put it in the middle, and it doesn't have as big of an impact. Yeah, because it wasn't in that main game, and it's usually a lot smaller of an experience.
Oh, this is also in response to the Iki Island DLC that's out. Zach and I have not had a chance.
Me neither, unfortunately. Like 5 days, and I still haven't played it. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but that's also why we're talking about DLC. But like the Spider-Man DLC really did not do it for me. I did not think those 3 chapters were very good at all compared to the base game. Frozen Wilds, I do remember enjoying a lot. I thought that was a cool new setting. Zach and I blazed through it though. Like we didn't care nearly as much as the main game.
Yeah, we kind of cheesed some of those bigger boss battles, but still had a good time.
Yeah, I remember enjoying that.
The Breath of the Wild DLC, it took me years to go back and finish the second.
You get a motorcycle. That's awesome.
Like done with the game.
Worth it.
Yeah, no, the motorcycle is super cool, but that DLC didn't really do it for me. I like DLC in games where it's like just additive content to the experience. I think the best DLC of all time was the Mario Kart 8 DLC on Wii U, which is now packaged in with 8 Deluxe. But it was 16 tracks and like 4 characters for like $12. That's unreal value for like what DLC usually goes for. It was like $7 a pack, 12 if you got them together, and the tracks are awesome. It had added the F-Zero tracks, the animal tracks. Like, yeah, that's the best DLC ever. And now it's just a part of the base Mario Kart. And it's like, are they ever going to release a Mario with 32 tracks again? Or is that going to feel like not enough after what this game did?
And we're just waiting to see if they'll release another Mario Kart game, period.
Ever. Yeah. Yeah. I love the Fighters Pass and Smash, both Seasons 1 and Season 2. I hope we get a Season 3, but doubtful. The Iceborne expansion was outstanding. That's like a whole new game in one. And then the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2 is better than the Splatoon 1 or the Splatoon 2 campaign. It's the best single-player story content they've ever done for Splatoon. It's awesome. It's really hard. It adds meaningful lore to the Splatoon universe, which is like, okay, that's cool.
I didn't even know that.
There's a lot of lore in Splatoon, like a surprising amount. But that one was awesome. Captain Toad had like a $5 DLC thing on Switch after the game came out.
Yeah, that's
on
a
Wii
little
U.
weird.
Like, yeah, and the levels were cool. And then Ace Attorney, both 5 and 6, each had a bonus case, which cost like $2. And it was a full new case. And I was like, that was cool. They weren't great because they were standalone. And one of them, the defendant, is a whale. You literally defend a whale.
Oh my god.
That seems like a good spot to put that in the DLC. $2 DLC.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make that the opening case.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so you cross-examine a parrot in game 1. How can we make that even weirder? Let's have you defend a whale at the end of game 5.
Is the whale on the witness stand?
I don't think the whale testifies. Well, actually,
that's good.
I think the whale does testify.
Yeah, I think it'd be good if he is on there. You gotta see him
through the door.
Spoiler alert, the whale didn't do it.
Oh.
The whale
got him off.
The alibi was he was in the ocean at the time.
Yep.
Not
it's
able.
It's at an aquarium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a whale that's in an aquarium, so it's like an aquarium setting. The setting's cool. The case is actually pretty cool, but the defendant's a whale. Yeah, but then the added case in Spirit of Justice is really good. Yeah, that was cool. I did not play the Sword and Shield DLC.
Nice.
I thought it looked really bad. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Can't pass up an opportunity to dunk on Pokemon.
No. And then they sold like, oh, you can get the game with the DLC for $80. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That made me so mad.
I mean, but that's their MO. It's like, hey, you can buy one game for $60. You want both of those? $120.
Yeah, and the most disgusting thing. And then the Sword DLC pack was a different eShop item than the Shield one. So if you had both games, you had to buy both DLCs. That's nasty. That's freaking nasty.
Again, with Pokemon's MO of having multiple games, having the 2 games, and then having a third one,
Yeah.
and then you get even more recently with like Black and White, and then making Black and White 2, having 2 second versions instead of the one, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. That's the way they've been going with that, and those are only $40 for the games.
I was gonna say,
territory.
I think this all could fly when the games were
when they're
30
40,
on
yeah.
DS, and then 40, but 60, that doesn't fly.
But it does because
Like-
people keep buying it.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Please
it does
stop,
keep
people.
flying.
Please stop.
Yeah, they won't. People keep buying it.
No.
I didn't.
I never understood
stopped.
buying both, especially like maybe when you're like a kid and maybe you don't have friends that play Pokemon.
That was me.
And,
I traded with
and you want
myself.
the exclusive Pokemon, yeah. But now with the
Yikes.
internet, you can find anything you.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
I don't know
much.
why you.
And
would
you can
still
try
do
it online now.
Yeah.
You can trade it over the network.
Yeah.
It's
So I
a lot
don't know why you would do it
strangers.
anymore.
Yeah.
Buy
Yeah, I don't know.
both.
I don't know why you would.
Buy both plus both DLCs for $160.
It's a good
You're
investment.
good to go.
Half a Switch, or most of a Switch Lite.
180. Those DLCs were 30 a pop.
Oh, I thought they were 20. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
We're 30.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Zach, what you got for DLC? Not Pokemon.
Not Pokemon. I have not played Pokemon DLC ever, I don't believe. Who knows? Maybe I have. Anyways, the ones I wanted to highlight, I think that The Last of Us Left Behind, that was a pretty solid story DLC set way before. I guess not way before, but a little bit before to give Ellie some more backstory, set up her character a little bit more, especially how she got bit and the events leading to that. And
Well-
then kind of more into, yeah, I guess. Good point. This game's very old at this point. I'm sure everyone's played it, but I guess
It's
spoilers
funny-
for the.
It's funny how it works though with DLC like that, where you wait long enough and it's with the Game of the Year edition or with the complete edition,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even feel like DLC anymore. Like you're talking about Mario Kart 8,
It just feels like
and
a
it's just Mario
part,
Kart 8
yeah.
Deluxe to me. Like it's
Yeah.
interesting how DLC kind of like changes as the years go by and it gets packaged in.
Yeah, it
with
was
the
so,
game.
it was so exciting for that game to like come home and play 8, because that was the first Mario Kart with DLC. It was really foreign concept. Like I could go home and play 8 new tracks like 6 months after this game came out. That was pretty cool.
Anyways, Last of Us. Yeah, back to that, Zach. Sorry.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty good story DLC. I like. That was a prequel.
You
I do
played
like
it as
prequel
DLC,
DLCs.
didn't you?
Yes, I played it on PS3 way back in the day.
How much
so it
was that?
Oh my god, I don't remember. I don't think it was very much. I
a
do
pretty
not
small
believe it was more
experience.
than like $10 or $15. So, unless I'm wrong, like I said, this was many years ago. But other than that, I think Dishonored 1, the original Dishonored, had amazing DLC. It's set during the game, but you actually play as a different character with a completely new moves, like powers set. You play as the antagonist through the events of the game, and it's divided into 2 full story DLCs, 3 episodes apiece. And the original base game is like 7 episodes. So this is basically like a whole game as DLC, where you're just playing as a different character with new powers, and you're seeing the whole game from his perspective. Like in the beginning, you play against, like, you fight against the main character of the original game, and then you meet back up at the end of the game and you see the whole thing from his perspective. And it's really cool, and his powers are even better, and it's like its whole story thing. So I thought that was pretty great. It wasn't even that too expensive. I honestly can't remember how much any DLC costs ever, but I don't think it was too expensive relative to the original game, especially back on PS3 days when this first came out. PS3 was pretty generous with those DLC prices. But I thought that was super cool. Horizon Zero Dawn, we talked about. Frozen Wilds, that was a great experience, even though we blazed through it a little bit. Still a lot of fun. The Spider-Man DLC I liked, but I was also kind of underwhelmed with comparatively for the base game. It just wasn't as good. I wasn't expecting it to be as good, but all of those, remember what they are, those flying armor-suited enemies with the stun guns. I hate those, and they were
those
just
guys.
the
with
third
passion.
DLC was like, it was just them, and I was not having a good time. I hate those guys.
Yeah, whenever they showed up in the fights, I'm just like, kill
Yeah.
me.
I was
They were
not
awful.
a lot of
and
fun.
then they did.
Yeah,
And then
many
they would,
times.
in
I
fact,
died
kill you.
many times to them.
Yeah.
Whenever I killed
So
one, I'm like,
annoying.
That was all luck. I have no idea how I killed him.
Yeah.
Good times.
And then the last one, like Logan said, this was pretty much the golden standard in DLC, but Iceborne, basically a whole new game for Monster Hunter World, included the master rank, the whole new rank, a bunch of new monsters, whole new setting, guiding lands. Love the guiding lands. Just great, fantastic. I don't love the guiding lands, but it added a bunch of amazing stuff, and it just added a bunch of hours onto the experience, and some great memories. All of those new monsters, and then all the monsters they added post Iceborne, like
DLC
Fatalis fight,
free update.
Exactly.
Quite nice.
The expansion DLC consistently got free updates for a while after it came out, so it doesn't get much better than that. So I think that's probably the best DLC experience I've ever had.
All right. As for me, a couple of the same ones again. Frozen Wilds, enjoyed my time with it. Spider-Man, hate those enemies a lot. They suck. And the story's nowhere near as good as the base game. Played some of the Borderlands 3 DLC. Need to get back to that. Played the casino one, and that was a good time. It's just a way to grind money, basically. You get so much cash from that. Yeah, that one was a good time. The two main ones for me, Xenoblade 2 Torna. Counted as DLC, but I bought the physical cart. So, is it DLC, is it not? That one was a really good time, and that's one of the times that I think story content really works is when it sets up these characters but is loosely tied to the base game, where it doesn't have to be like in the middle of the story or whatever, where it's like, was that actually happening at that time, really, when I was going through? It was a nice little prequel story, and it was cool that it added like a bunch of new combat with the new characters. So that was a good time. And then Forza Horizon 3, that DLC is really good. Blizzard Mountain and Hot Wheels, really good DLC. And Forza Horizon, it's perfect for those types of things where you've got the maps and you've got certain biomes that it already has, and then you're like, hey, why don't we throw in just like a really random biome, or throw in Hot Wheels, or throw in Lego that they do with Forza Horizon 4. I think that the ideas that they've come up with for the DLCs for the last couple of Forza Horizon games have been super cool. I think I've had the most fun with Blizzard Mountain. It just completely changes how you race. Just racing on dirt or racing on rain, you get used to it. But racing in snow on these like mountaintops is a completely different experience, having to retrofit your cars with the snow tires and trying to decide which car is a better option for these now that you have all of these snow tracks to have to drive through, and racing in the snow in a blizzard was a ton of fun. I need to go back and play more Blizzard Mountain. But I think Forza Horizon has done a really good job with the DLCs. And remember, when Forza Horizon 4 reaches end of life, you'll need to pick those up before they just vanish forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really dumb how they do that. But the DLC is still very fun. Yeah. Forza Horizon 3's got some good DLC. Yeah. I think that is going to do it for us. Any final thoughts? My final thought, I'm excited for more Saints Row gameplay. What about you guys?
Me
Final
too.
Thoughts? Yeah.
Love Saints Row.
Good game.
I was a GTA boy.
As was
No way.
everybody.
Only one or the other. You can't play both.
I did.
You had
do
to
it.
pick one. It was
Saints
GTA
Row
for me.
differentiated itself pretty far from GTA once Saints Row 3 and especially Saints Row 4 came out. Logan, anything from you?
Yeah, next week, look forward to impressions of No More 3.
Oh, yeah.
Second airplane.
We are.
And the
so
Ghost
excited.
of Tsushima DLC, which I'm going to start.
It's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope I have time to start it too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, look forward to that next week. But for this week, that is going to do it for us. We're here on Thursdays or Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other podcast streaming services that you may use. We're on our website, odagames.com. The audio version is up there every week as well. The video version is up on YouTube at Ode To Games, so you can check out the video version of the podcast there. We're on Twitter at Ode To Games, Twitch, Ode To Games as well. You can send an email to odegamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.